Wake up. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Now. Because the world you believe in never existed. You were taught that effort is rewarded, that patience pays off, that good people win in the end. That was the first lie. Look around. The honest are exhausted. The loyal are betrayed. The kind are used. And the cruel, they sleep peacefully. You struggle every day. Carry pain no one sees. Fight battles no one respects. And still life asks for more. More sacrifice. More silence. More obedience. And you keep asking, why me? Because this world doesn't care. It never did. People smile while plotting. They praise you while replacing you. They clap for you when you're useful. And forget your name the moment you fall. This world feeds on dreams. It takes young men full of fire and grinds them into dust, called reality. You tried doing things the right way. You trusted. You waited. You believed. And what did that get you? Disappointment. Loneliness. Rage you're not allowed to show. So you swallow it. You pretend you're fine. You laugh. You say it's okay. But inside, something is rotting. That anger you feel, that bitterness, that's not weakness. That's awareness. Because once you see the truth, you can never unsee it. The truth is, this world rewards power, not morals, control, not kindness. Those at the top didn't get there by being pure. They got there by being decisive. They chose themselves. When the world chose against them, you think suffering makes you noble. No, uncontrolled suffering just makes you broken. Pain has only one purpose: to force evolution. If pain doesn't change you, it consumes you. That's why most people stay small. They feel injustice and do nothing. They see corruption and adapt to it. They get hurt and learn how to survive, not how to dominate. This world is a battlefield disguised as society, and you're either a pawn or a player. There is no middle ground. Dreams don't survive on hope. They survive on obsession, on sacrifice, on becoming someone. This world cannot ignore. People will call you heartless. The moment you stop explaining yourself, they'll say you've changed. When you stop accepting disrespect, they'll fear you. When you stop needing approval. And that fear? That's respect in its purest form. You don't need everyone to understand you. You need results. The world only listens to those who can't be ignored. So ask yourself, how long will you keep living by rules made to keep you weak? How long will you keep trusting a system that benefits from your obedience? At what point do you stop hoping for fairness and start creating control? Because once you truly wake up, once you accept that this world was never meant to be fair, will you still choose to stay innocent? Or will you become powerful enough to reshape reality itself? Comment, I'm awake. If this truth hit you harder than expected, let me tell you something no one dares to say out loud. This world doesn't break everyone. It breaks the soft, those who hesitate, those who seek permission, those who wait for justice. Instead of enforcing their will, you were soft once, not weak, just open. You believed effort would protect you. that loyalty would be returned, that pain would eventually stop. But pain doesn't stop. It studies you. It watches how much you can endure. Before you bend, before you beg, before you break. Every betrayal was a lesson. Every failure was a warning. Every night you stared at the ceiling, wondering where everything went wrong. That was the world, testing your limits. And you kept losing, because you kept playing fair, in a rigged game. Understand this: morality is a luxury for those already in power. The poor preach patience. The powerless preach kindness. Because without strength, principles are just words. Look at history. Empires weren't built by mercy. Change wasn't created by hope. Peace only came after someone was strong enough to impose it. The world bows only to certainty, to people who don't ask, "Is this allowed?" but declare, "This will happen." You think the world owes you something for surviving hell. It doesn't. Survival isn't rewarded. Dominance is. That's why the world keeps pushing you harder than others. Because deep down, it senses what you could become. Pressure doesn't crush diamonds. It creates them. But only if the diamond accepts the pressure instead of praying for relief. You're angry because you see it now. You see how fake smiles hide greed, how promises expire, how truth is flexible when power is involved. And that realization hurts more than any betrayal. Because once you know, you can't go back to sleep. You can't unlearn how cruel fairness really is. That's why ignorance looks happy. That's why shallow people laugh easily. They don't see the machine. You do. And the moment you saw it, you stopped fitting in. Good. Because the ones who fit perfectly into this world are usually the ones being used by it. This world doesn't need your approval, and it won't apologize. So you have two choices. Remain soft, hoping pain will get tired of you, or harden your resolve until the world itself learns to step carefully around you. Because once you stop asking for permission to exist, what do you think will happen when you finally decide to take what you deserve? Comment, "No more mercy." If you felt this in your bones, listen carefully. There comes a moment when pain stops feeling like pain and starts feeling like clarity. That's the moment you realize mercy didn't save you. It exposed you. You gave second chances and got second betrayals. You stayed silent, and they mistook it for fear. You forgave, and they learned how far they could push you. This world doesn't respect kindness. It tests it. Again, and again, and again, until even the kindest soul either breaks or evolves. You didn't suffer because you were wrong. You suffered because you were surrounded by people who benefited from your patience. They called you calm. They called you mature. They called you understanding. What they really meant was, he won't fight back. And you let it happen because you believed being good would protect you from becoming cruel. But tell me something. How many times did being good protect you from betrayal? How many times did patience stop someone from crossing you? How many times did silence make them respect you? Exactly. The truth is brutal. The world only listens when there are consequences. Words don't change people. Warnings don't stop enemies. Emotions don't scare predators. Only power does. And power isn't loud rage. It's quiet certainty. The kind that makes others hesitate before they try you. The kind that says nothing, yet changes the room. You think Madara was feared because he hated the world? No, he was feared because he understood it. He saw that peace built on lies always collapses. He saw that hope without control creates chaos. He saw that people don't change until they're forced to. And once you see that truth, you can't unsee it. That's why you feel different now. You're not sad like before. You're not emotional like before. You're cold. Not because you lost feelings, but because you buried them under understanding. You don't crave revenge anymore. You crave order. You crave a world where your pain wasn't meaningless. And that desire, that dangerous calm growing inside you, that's the birth of someone the world will eventually fear. But here's the real question. When the time comes, and mercy asks for another chance, will you choose to stay kind and be broken again? Or will you choose power and become the villain in someone else's story? Comment, I see the world now. If this part changed something inside you, there is a day that never gets a date on the calendar. No celebration, no warning, no sound, just a silent shift inside you. That's the day you stop believing in peace, not because you love violence, but because you've seen the truth behind smiles. You've watched people shake hands while hiding knives behind their backs. You've heard promises spoken with mouths that already planned betrayal. You've seen peace used as an excuse for control, as a mask for weakness, as a lie told to keep the strong asleep. And that's when it hits you. Peace isn't real when power is uneven. Peace isn't real when one side suffers silently so the other can feel comfortable. Peace isn't real when you're expected to endure pain just to be called good. Madara understood this before anyone else dared to say it. He didn't reject peace. He rejected fake peace, the kind built on ignorance, the kind that collapses the moment reality shows its teeth. You tried living that way. You tried being the bigger person. You tried letting things go. You tried believing people would change. And what did it cost you? Your trust, your innocence, your nights. You learned that peace demands a price. And somehow, you were always the one paying it. That's why you stopped explaining yourself. That's why your words became fewer. That's why your presence feels heavier now. Because you finally understood something brutal. If peace requires you to stay weak, then peace is the enemy. So you stopped chasing harmony. You started chasing control. Not control over others. Control over yourself, your emotions, your reactions, your tolerance. You don't raise your voice anymore. You raise your standards. You don't beg to be understood. You let distance do the talking. You don't fight every battle. You choose the ones worth ending someone's arrogance. And the world notices. They say you've changed. Of course you have. The old you believed. Everyone deserved peace. The new you knows. Peace is earned.